How to train your mind to be stronger than your emotions, Stoicism. Your emotions feel powerful because they arrive fast, loud, and uninvited. Anger flares before logic wakes up. Fear speaks before reason clears its throat. Anxiety shouts while wisdom whispers. Most people assume this means emotions are stronger than the mind. Stoicism teaches the opposite. Emotions are reactions. The mind is the commander. The problem is not emotion itself, but the lack of training. An untrained mind obeys every feeling like an order. A trained mind listens, pauses, and chooses. Stoicism was never about suppressing emotion or pretending pain doesn't exist. It was about refusing to be ruled by impulses that do not serve your long-term character. Marcus Aurelius felt anger. Seneca felt fear. Epictetus felt frustration. What separated them from the average person was not emotional numbness, but emotional mastery. They trained the mind to remain steady while emotions passed like weather. If you've ever said something you regretted in anger, stayed in a bad situation out of fear, or sabotaged yourself because anxiety felt convincing, this video is for you. What you're about to learn is not motivation. It's mental discipline, the kind that changes how you react for the rest of your life. If this kind of calm, grounded wisdom speaks to you, subscribe now. This channel exists to help you build a mind that stays strong when life gets loud. Understand this one Stoic truth first: your emotions are not facts. They are interpretations. Stoicism begins here. The event itself has no emotional charge until your mind assigns one. Someone disrespects you. The words are neutral sounds. Anger comes only after the judgment. I've been insulted. Anxiety comes only after the story. This might go wrong. Fear appears after the belief. I can't handle this. Epictetus said that men are disturbed not by things, but by the views they take of them. This is not philosophy for bookshelves. This is a practical weapon. The moment you separate the event from the story you tell yourself about it, emotional intensity drops. Not instantly, but noticeably. Training the mind means catching interpretations in real time. When emotion spikes, ask yourself one silent question: what am I telling myself right now? Not what happened, not how it feels. What meaning did I assign to it? That meaning is optional, even if it feels automatic. Strong minds don't deny emotion. They question it. Weak minds treat emotion as unquestionable truth. If you want to keep learning how to pause, observe, and regain control in real situations, subscribe to the channel. Everything here is built for real life, not theory. Delay is power. The fastest way emotions win is through speed. Anger rushes you to speak. Fear rushes you to avoid. Desire rushes you to act. Stoicism teaches the power of delay. Not forever, just long enough for the mind to re-enter the room. Marcus Aurelius trained himself to insert a pause between stimulus and response. That pause is where strength lives. Even a few seconds changes outcomes. A delayed response prevents words you can't take back. It prevents decisions you'll later regret. It prevents emotional reactions from becoming permanent damage. When emotion surges, do nothing, briefly. Breathe slowly through the nose, feel your feet on the ground. Let the emotion burn without feeding it action. Emotions peak and fall like waves. Most people act at the peak. Stoics wait for the fall. This is not weakness. It's dominance. Anyone can react. Very few can restrain themselves in the moment they feel justified. If you want to develop this kind of quiet power, subscribe. The mind you build here will protect you in moments when others lose control. Train your inner dialogue. Your mind is always speaking. The question is whether it's trained or chaotic. Emotional weakness often comes from unexamined inner dialogue. Catastrophic thinking, personalization, exaggeration. Stoicism treats the inner voice like a muscle that must be disciplined. When something goes wrong, notice the language you use internally. Do you say, "This is unbearable," or "This is uncomfortable"? Do you say, "This always happens," or "This happened once"? The mind follows the tone you set. Extreme language fuels extreme emotion. Stoics practiced intentional reframing, not toxic positivity, accurate perspective. They reduced emotional suffering by choosing precise, grounded words. Pain becomes sensation. Fear becomes uncertainty. Anger becomes information. Strong minds speak to themselves calmly, especially under stress. They correct exaggeration the moment it appears. Over time, this rewires emotional reactions. If you want to reshape your inner voice into something steadier and more rational, subscribe. This channel is your training ground. Accept what you cannot control. Emotional exhaustion comes from fighting reality. Stoicism draws a sharp line between what is within your control and what is not. Your thoughts, choices, effort, and values are yours. Other people's actions, opinions, timing, and outcomes are not. When emotions overwhelm you, it's usually because you're trying to control the uncontrollable. You want approval. You want certainty. You want guarantees. The mind collapses under that impossible weight. Strength returns the moment you release what was never yours to manage. You don't need to like reality. You just need to stop arguing with it internally. Acceptance is not surrender, it's clarity. A trained mind invests energy only where it can actually make a difference. That alone reduces anxiety, resentment, and frustration dramatically. If this perspective resonates, subscribe. Everything on this channel is about freeing your mind from unnecessary emotional suffering. Practice voluntary discomfort. Stoics trained emotional resilience on purpose. They did hard things willingly so emotions wouldn't control them when hardship arrived uninvited. Cold exposure, fasting, silence, delayed gratification. These were not punishments. They were training. When you voluntarily experience discomfort, you teach your nervous system that discomfort is survivable. Fear loses its grip. Anxiety weakens. The mind gains confidence in its ability to endure. Modern life is designed to eliminate discomfort, which makes emotions fragile. The Stoic path reverses that trend. Small, controlled challenges strengthen emotional immunity. Start simple. Sit with boredom without reaching for your phone. Delay pleasure briefly. Choose the harder option when it builds character. Over time, emotions stop feeling overwhelming because you've proven to yourself that you can handle discomfort without panic. If you want guidance on building this quiet toughness, subscribe. This channel exists to make your mind unshakable. Detach from other people's opinions. Nothing weakens the mind faster than emotional dependence on approval. Stoics warned constantly against living for external validation. The moment other people's opinions dictate your emotional state, your peace is no longer yours. You cannot control how you are perceived. You can control how you act. A strong mind anchors self-worth internally, not socially. Praise and criticism become information, not identity. When someone disapproves of you, observe the emotional reaction without obeying it. Ask whether the criticism affects your values or just your ego. Most emotional pain comes from wounded pride, not actual harm. Freedom arrives when you stop outsourcing your emotional stability to others. If you want to build that inner independence, subscribe. This channel helps you reclaim control over your emotional life. Make reason your default leader. Emotions are advisors, not rulers. Stoicism doesn't silence them. It places reason above. When the mind is trained, reason listens to emotion, extracts useful data, and then decides. Ask yourself regularly, what would a calm, rational version of me do right now? That question alone reactivates reason. Over time, it becomes automatic. Strong minds don't eliminate emotion. They integrate it without being dominated by it. If you want more content that sharpens your mind, steadies your emotions, and builds quiet confidence, subscribe to the channel. This is where mental strength is forged. Train emotional awareness before emotional control. You cannot control what you are not aware of. Most emotional reactions feel sudden, but they are not instant. There is always a brief moment where emotion rises before it takes over. Stoicism trains you to notice that moment. That awareness is the doorway to strength. When you feel irritation building, don't suppress it. Observe it. Notice where it shows up in the body. Tight jaw, fast breathing, heat in the chest. These physical signals arrive before emotional explosion. A trained mind recognizes the signal and intervenes early. Think of emotions like sparks. If you catch them early, they fade. If you ignore them, they become fire. Emotional mastery is not about force. It is about timing. Begin asking yourself throughout the day, what am I feeling right now? Not to analyze endlessly, but to stay present. Awareness turns unconscious reactions into conscious choices. If you want to develop this level of emotional intelligence and self-command, subscribe to the channel. Every video here is designed to strengthen your awareness and inner control. Separate identity from emotion. One of the most dangerous mental habits is saying, I am angry, instead of, I feel anger. Stoicism teaches psychological distance. You are not your emotions. You experience them. When you fuse identity with emotion, the emotion gains authority. Anger becomes justified. Fear becomes truth. Sadness becomes permanence. A strong mind refuses this fusion. Practice mentally labeling emotions as temporary states. Say silently, anger is present, or anxiety is arising. This subtle shift creates distance. Distance creates control. Emotions lose power when they're observed instead of embodied. You stop defending them. You stop acting them out. You regain choice. If you want to break free from emotional identification and regain mental clarity, subscribe. This channel trains the art of inner separation. Use negative visualization to reduce emotional shock. Stoics prepared emotionally by imagining loss before it happened. Not to become pessimistic, but to reduce emotional shock. When the mind rehearses reality, emotions hit softer. Imagine setbacks calmly. Imagine criticism. Imagine delays. When these things eventually occur, your mind recognizes them. Fear decreases. Panic dissolves. You respond instead of collapse. Most emotional pain comes not from events, but from surprise. Stoicism removes surprise. This practice builds emotional resilience and gratitude at the same time. You appreciate what you have while it exists, without clinging. If you want to build this quiet mental armor, subscribe. This channel is about preparation, not panic. Control pleasure as much as pain. Emotional weakness is not only about negative emotions. Unchecked pleasure also weakens the mind. Stoics warned that attachment to comfort makes emotions fragile. When pleasure becomes necessary, its absence feels unbearable. Desire then controls behavior. A strong mind enjoys pleasure without depending on it. Practice restraint intentionally. Stop before full indulgence. Delay gratification slightly. This trains emotional independence. The goal is balance. Enjoy life, but don't be enslaved by it. If you want to master both pain and pleasure, subscribe. This channel teaches disciplined enjoyment, not emotional addiction. Build daily mental discipline. Strength is not built in crisis. It is built in routine. Stoics practice daily reflection to sharpen the mind. Morning intention. Evening review. In the morning, remind yourself that challenges will come. Prepare your responses in advance. In the evening, review your reactions without judgment. Learn, adjust. This daily practice compounds over time. Emotional reactions weaken. Rational responses strengthen. The mind becomes a trained instrument instead of a reactive mess. If you want to build this discipline consistently, subscribe. This channel is your daily mental gym. Choose character over comfort in emotional moments. Comfort feels tempting. Reacting feels relieving. Avoidance feels safe. Stoicism teaches you to choose character instead. Ask yourself in emotional situations, what action aligns with the person I want to be? Not what feels good now, what builds strength long term. This question redirects behavior instantly. Over time, emotions lose their ability to hijack decisions. Character becomes the compass. Emotions become signals, not commands. If you want to build unshakable character and emotional strength, subscribe to the channel. Everything here is designed to help you become calm, grounded, and mentally powerful.